Okay, now let's talk about KCL. According to KCL, the sum of the currents that are leaving a particular node is equal to the sum of the currents that are entering that node. So for example, let us pick node A as an example. So the currents that are leaving this node A are IAB and IAD. And the current that is entering this node is IFA. So therefore, according to KCL, IFA will be equal to IAB plus IAD. Now let us talk briefly about this notation IAB, IAD, IFA for example. It is very easy to understand that IAB simply refers to the current that is flowing from point A to point B or from node A to node B. So this particular notation where A comes before B is actually deliberate because we want to refer to the current that flows from A to B. If it was written as IBA, then it means we are referring to the current that is flowing in the opposite direction, that is from node B to A. The magnitude of both currents, IAB and IBA, will be same, but their sign will be different. So we have to keep this thing in mind that by simply changing the direction of these notations, yani changing IAB to IBA, will have an impact on the sign of the current. In other words, I can say that IAB will be equal to minus IBA. Similarly, IFA will be equal to minus IAF and so on. So that said, let me write the KCL equation at node number A. So it will be IFA is equal to IAB plus IAD. I can also write this equation as IAB plus IAD minus IFA equal to 0. What have I done? I have moved this IFA to the right hand side of the equation, and the resulting equation is IAB plus IAD minus IFA equal to 0. Now, as I told you earlier, that IFA is actually equal to minus IAF. Similarly, minus IFA will be equal to IAF. So if I replace this minus IFA by IAF, then the equation can be written like this: IAB plus IAD plus IAF equal to 0. Now in terms of circuit, what are these currents? IAB and IAD are obvious, they are nothing changed. These are the currents that are leaving the node A. What about IAF? What is the current IAF? IAF is the current in this direction, which is also leaving the node. So now we have another statement for KCL. What does that statement say? That statement says that sum of all the currents leaving a particular node should be equal to 0. Let me repeat it. Sum of all the currents leaving a particular node should be equal to 0. We just proved it, right? Similarly, we can also say that the sum of all the currents that are entering a particular node is also equal to 0. These are all of the statements of KCL. Now we have understood what KCL means, and now we are ready to make the measurements of different currents and then verify KCL. In order to do that, okay, let's move to the table. So here is the table where we have to record the measurements of the current. So what are the different currents that we have to measure? These are IAB, ICB, IAD, ICD and IFA. Once we record them, we will be summing the currents at different nodes. So here, for example, we will be summing all the currents that are either entering or leaving node A, and same thing for B, C and D. And for all of them, ideally the result should be 0. Okay, now how would I measure these currents? IAB, ICB and so on. Let's go back to the circuit and see what is the right way of measuring these currents. Let's talk about IAB. Remember from the first experiment, from the detailed description in the first experiment, that if I want to measure the current that is flowing through a component or through a branch, what I have to do is to introduce my ammeter in series with that component. So here IAB is actually the current that is flowing through R1. So my job would be to introduce the ammeter in series with R1. How can I do that? Let me use another color. I will introduce the ammeter, for example, here. What does that mean? It means one of the terminal of the ammeter should be connected to node A and the other terminal should be connected to the node of resistance R1. In this way, the path will remain intact and the current that is flowing from A to B will actually be flowing through the ammeter, which will allow it to measure that current. Now the question arises that if I have an ammeter, for example here, then I have two terminals, a positive terminal and a negative terminal. What should be the orientation of the ammeter? Where should I connect the positive terminal and where should I connect the negative terminal? Then always remember that we have to keep the direction of the current that we are measuring in mind. So right now we are interested in IAB, which means the direction of the current is from A to B. This is the current that we intend to measure. This is the current that we are interested in measuring, okay? So we have to make sure that the current, this current should enter the positive terminal of the ammeter. What does that mean? It means that if I connect node A with the positive terminal, then the current IAB will enter the ammeter from the positive terminal and it will leave from the negative terminal and it will go to the resistor R1 so that it reaches the node B ultimately. So this is the idea, that if I am measuring IAB, then this current IAB must enter the positive terminal of the ammeter. On the contrary, if I was interested in measuring the current IBA, if I was interested in measuring the current IBA, which is actually the current that is flowing in this direction, then I should have connected the ammeter in a flipped position. What does that mean? It means I must have connected it like this. Yani, the positive terminal should be placed at this position so that the current IBA should enter from the positive terminal. So this is the idea. So please keep this thing in mind when you are measuring all of these currents, IAB, ICB, IAD. Let us take another example and then we will wrap it up. So for example, let's talk about ICD. What is ICD? ICD is the current that is flowing from C to D in this direction. So how would I place the ammeter? I would place the ammeter in such a way that C is connected to the positive terminal of the ammeter and the negative terminal is connected at this point. Obviously this circuit will be removed, this part of the circuit will be removed. So in this way I have made sure that the connection between node C and D remains intact and at the same time the current in this branch flows through the ammeter so that it can be measured. So this will allow me to measure ICD. Now let us say that you have measured the current ICD and you are asked to find IDC. Then do you need to measure it again? No, you don't have to measure it again, because since you have measured ICD, IDC will be simply the negative of that current. So for example, ICD, let us assume that ICD is minus 10 amperes. If ICD is minus 10 amperes, then IDC would be simply 10 amperes. Okay, so please keep that in mind. So this is the benefit of following this notation, and we need to understand this notation properly. Okay guys, so now we have this table number 7, and as I said that at node A we have to identify all of the currents that are either leaving or reaching the node A. Okay, so once we identify them, we add them and we will show that the sum is actually 0. So let's now move forward to the description of the hardware experiment.